look at this diagram of the periodic table. If you've studied chemistry, you know the dread of reaching those bottom two rows. Staring down the F block means facing 15 empty, intimidating slots of the Lanthanide series, waiting to be memorized in perfect order. Most students try to brute force this sequence with flashcards and sheer repetition, but there is a way to approach this list through the structure of a character-driven story. Humans remember drama, family conflict, and plot with much greater fidelity than disconnected chemical symbols. Following the specific beats of this story will help place these 15 elements into a sequential, memorable framework. We start in a prosperous, bustling town where a highly confident businessman has built a reputation for excellence. He runs a widely renowned manufacturing company, and his specific trade is producing the finest, most beautiful lace in the region. The word lace gives us our starting point, mapping to our first two elements, lanthanum, La, and cerium, Ce. Thanks to the high demand for his product, the business is booming. Every single month, the factory generates massive, consistent profits for his family. This rising financial chart tracks those early successes. The word profits links directly to our third element, Praseodymium, Pr. Together, lanthanum, cerium, and praseodymium, La, Ce, and Prar, mirror the stable, highly successful golden era of our protagonist's life. But financial stability rarely lasts when management fails. Almost overnight, the accounts plunge into the red. The business records tell a darker story. The family's wealth is being naturally destroyed from within. That specific phrase, naturally destroyed, maps to our next element, Neodymium, Nd. The culprits behind this destruction are the businessman's own sons, Prem and Sam. They are reckless, arrogant, and bleeding the company dry with bad decisions. The eldest son, Prem, gives us Promethium, Pm. The second son, Sam, gives us Samarium, Sm. This specific conflict groups the middle elements, Nd, Pm, and Sm, within the emotional context of a family crisis. Facing bankruptcy and complete ruin, the desperate businessman hits rock bottom. With nowhere else to turn, he seeks intervention from a higher power. He prays to a wise and powerful entity known as the European god, who listens to the businessman's plight. European connects to Europium, EU. God maps to Gadolinium, GD. Rather than magically fixing the factory, the deity provides a meticulously tabulated business plan to save the company. This glowing, structured grid shows that strategy. The word tabulated points directly to Terbium, TB. This is no passive strategy. The tabulated plan is highly dynamic, requiring aggressive energy and immediate action to execute. As the data moves upward, the word dynamic connects to Dysprosium, Dy. Holding this comprehensive, dynamic plan in his hands finally gives the broken businessman something he hasn't felt in months: hope. The word hope links to Holmium, Ho. This arc of divine intervention carries us through the next 5 elements. From desperation to strategic action, we move from EU and GD to TB, DY, and HO. Armed with the plan, the businessman returns to the factory to clean house. His first move is to aggressively erase all the bad contracts and terrible decisions made by Prem and Sam. The action erased gives us Erbium, ER. Realizing he can't run the floor alone, he calls in trusted family members to replace his sons, his brother-in-law Tom and Tom's younger brother. Tom maps to Thulium, TM. Younger brother gives us Ytterbium, YB. Finally, the ultimate hero of the story steps forward. The businessman's loyal wife, Lou, takes control of operations, becoming the backbone of the restored company. His wife, Lou, provides the final element in our series, Lutetium, Lu. By clearing out the rot and assembling a new, trusted family unit, we lock in the final stretch of the F block, ER, TM, YB, and Lu. You've heard the fable. Now let's test your brain to see how much of this mnemonic stuck. A businessman runs a La-C shop that makes massive profits. That's LACEPR. The business is naturally destroyed by his sons Prem and Sam, ND, PM, SM. So he asks the European god for a tabulated, dynamic plan to restore hope. EU, GD, TB, DY, H-O. Watch the board fill up as he erases mistakes and calls in Tom, his younger brother, and Lou, E-R-T-M-Y-B-L-U. Right now, pause the video, grab a piece of paper, and write out all 15 symbols entirely from memory just by recalling the plot. Mastering the phublock relies on engaging the way we naturally process information, through the structure of a story.